We'll give it just one more minute for people to join. Okay, we'll get started. Good evening.
Recording in progress.
Welcome to the Easton School Planning Committee meeting of Thursday, May 17th. That's not right. Of Wednesday, May 17th, 2023. This meeting will be conducted remotely over Zoom. Attendance by committee members will be remote, and remote attendance shall count towards quorum. The meeting will be broadcast live and recorded on ECAT. Thank you all for coming. First item on the agenda are the minutes of April 13th, 2023. Do anyone have any questions, comments, edits? Please feel free to shout out. I can't necessarily see everyone. Okay, then I'll take a motion to approve the minutes of April 13th, 2023.
Helen, so moved.
Second, Martin.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Carlson?
Yes.
Cedarbaum?
Dane?
Reed?
Reed, yes.
Weintraub?
Yes.
Helen?
Helen, yes.
I just lost everyone. Hold on.
Sorry, I can stop sharing.
That's okay. So is Billy Sabri here?
Sobra, yes.
Okay. Martin, did I say?
Yes.
Is
Martin, yes.
Tim Vamosi here? No. Cabral?
Yes.
Weintraub?
Yes.
Wiseman is yes. Let me see if there's anyone I didn't call. I think I got everyone. Is there anyone I didn't get? Like I said, I can't see everyone now. Okay, great. Next item, construction progress update. Walter?
Yep, absolutely. So we have some nice new pictures. I believe these are from yesterday and today at the playground structures and resilient play surface in front of the school. So here you can see the playground structures on both sides. I can see the school sign out front with the nice sod and trees all around it and irrigation going. And same thing on the right-hand side, that's at the practice field. Today they were putting in the trench drainage at the field. So under the competition softball field, there's about every 15 to 20 feet, there's trench drainage to make sure that the field drains properly in the outfield. You can see the clay on the inside on the left. And on the right-hand side, they're wrapping up placing the loam on the eastern and northeastern side of the practice field area. The batting cage netting has gone up. The batting cage structure is complete. They really just need to finish grading around the area. And then on the right, you can see the natural play area that has been completed. There were some minor adjustments made to these logs earlier today, so those should be wrapped up and ready for use by Monday. Tough screenshot to see here. Our camera got blown over by some wind, so we got a little sideways picture, but you can see a lot of progress. This was actually taken on Friday of last week on the right-hand side. So quite a bit more resilient surfacing is completed all the way through there. Cash flow schedule update. We are at $75.3 million billed to date. MSBA reimbursement to date of $29.9 million and $400,000 pending MSBA audit. Construction look ahead schedule and phase 1, phase 2. So lighting training, some secondary lighting training taking place on a couple particular areas. Exterior caulking is ongoing. They're probably going to wrap that in with the sidewalks at phase 2. So that they're not being invasive of play areas or anyone in the school facility. Punch list ongoing, some minimal summer work in the 2 weeks between when activities are going to start for school. Phase 2, there's one area of sidewalks that is being utilized to access and get the loam in, get the sod in. So there's about 20 to 30 feet of sidewalks that are going in, I believe, on Tuesday or Wednesday next week. Site furnishings, really close to wrapped up there. There's a few items that are outstanding, a couple items that are going to linger into the summer. The canopies and the canopies for the dugouts, but the benches we believe will be there. Although the play field or the softball field's not going to be able to be used, so the dugouts are while they're important, they're not going to be serving a purpose for this summer while that field's getting established and meeting its growing seasons. Irrigation startup at the competition field. That'll start as soon as the sod goes on. Sod at the competition field. Play field equipment, so foul pole and the fencing. The foul poles are up. The fencing is 95% complete. There's a couple small areas that need to go in. They need to get the sod in first. The final fencing, which is going to go right where the sidewalks, once the sidewalks are done, they'll get that little last piece of fencing in. Landscape plantings are nearly complete. There's a few areas on the northeast side, some trees that need to come in. I believe those are coming next week. And then punch list for landscaping will happen. And then top coat, we have tentatively scheduled for June 5th and 6th for the final top coat out on Spooner, all the way around the parking area, down the bus loop, and then back up Bankston Street. So working right through there. Some of these dates, while they're not on 4/28, they have been completed by 5/19. We'll do another update once we hit Friday, and we'll be there for the 5/19 dates as well. Contingency update. We are just past the final date of substantial completion, which was 4/28. I think we talked about it last time. We're addressing those KPIs to make sure that everything can be used at the correct timeline. So current exposure, we have $213,000. Pending change orders, we have about 150 to 148.8. And we have just over 2 million in change orders executed with 1.37 available at this point in time. So in great shape. We have plenty of contingency left. We don't anticipate any large changes at this point in time. There'll be a change order, likely 2 more, one that will get done shortly, and then one probably to wrap up anything as we head towards the final closeout of the project. We do have a discretionary PCO review and vote for the committee tonight. I think everyone remembers that there was a scoreboard that was at the softball fields prior to the project starting. It was taken down, it was saved. In that time frame, the DPW and high school were able to construct a new softball field out in the back at Oliver Ames High School. They ended up utilizing that scoreboard. You can see it in the picture here. So we do not have a scoreboard to reinstall. And we know that softball fields are lacking in Easton, so we want to make sure that this one, and it is a competition field, it has everything you need, including batting cages, full dugouts. We want to make sure this one has the availability to be used for competition and be able to track the score and all the fun stuff that's needed for those type of games. So the above price is for the installation of the scoreboard. What that does not include, it's the concrete footing placement, sod replacement if necessary around it. So PMA would be recommending those be taking place on T&M. The above the price of $22,675 includes the handheld controller kit for $1245. That is in that price. If we wanted to go up to the app-based controller, it would be just over an additional $600 on that $22,675. So we have the proposal. We're looking for approval from the school planning committee to proceed with purchasing this and getting it installed with the understanding that Some of this work would be taking place on T&M. The scoreboard installation would be for that price right there. And if we needed to go to the type 2 for the app-based controller, we can certainly do that as well. So,
Anyone have any questions about this, comments? I can't see
and-
everyone, so just shout out.
I forgot to mention the technical review committee approved this coming to the school planning committee this evening. So technical review committee was in support of this.
Thank you, Walter.
Yep.
Anyone want to comment or have any questions for Walter on this?
Which controller is recommended, would we want?
Are you asking me? PMA has no preference. I'm not sure what's used at the high school. I'm guessing it is not an app-based, but I don't know. We could certainly just match whatever's used there or go off a recommendation from the athletic director and or DPW. Happy to do either of those as well. I do not know what the other one is using currently.
Alicia, do you have any idea?
I don't know, but if it's as simplistic as it seems, one would have to be used right at the base and one can be used elsewhere. Is that correct?
I think that's what that is, Leisha. I'll get confirmation and I'll also check with the athletic director as well if they have a preference.
Well, I think just if that is the case, then it would certainly make sense to get the one that doesn't have to be right at the base. It may be
Okay.
a coach that has to manipulate that at some point from the
Okay.
dugout, for example.
Not a problem. Yeah, that certainly the $600 is not gonna cause an issue on that. Certainly can take care of that. So we would add the $600 to that $22,675.
Does anyone have any questions about the T&M work that needs to be done? Okay, then I will make a motion to accept the scoreboard and installation to allow for that, the 22,675.75, which my computer just went blank, I'm sorry. And with the additional $600 for the
Does not like that
oh,
scoreboard.
the joy
Not
of
like
being
that.
home. With the additional $600 for the app-based controller kit. Do you need anything else in the motion, Walter?
Just and the approval of the T&M work to be
And the,
tracked.
and the approval of the TNM work as well. Do I have a second?
Ellen, second.
Okay, I apologize for the growling in the background. That has nothing to do with my appreciation of this. Cedarbaum,
Yes.
Cabral,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes,
Martin,
Yes.
Helen,
Yes.
Weintraub,
Yes.
Vamosi.
Not
Oh,
yet.
not here. Okay, sorry. Sabri
Sobra, yes.
and Wiseman, yes. Okay, thank you, Walter.
Problem. Right. So FF and EIT budget, there's really been no adjustment to last budget. We are just still going through and tracking those PCR contract credits. There may be some adjustment in there in the town's advantage. So there may be a little bit more left in that budget other than the 2,900. We're finalizing that with those companies as well. Wastewater treatment plant construction closeout update. Change order 3 was approved on Monday night. So final application is actually ready to be reviewed. They submitted it earlier today. So PMA will get that over once it's reviewed and confirmed that it's captured everything and get those closed out. There will be a little bit of more work over there on Monday and Tuesday. That is being handled as part of PCOs that were already approved by this group and by the technical review committee for putting in that new HVAC unit to make sure maintain the and extend the life of that building. The old HVAC unit was expired, not working, and sitting in the back. So it's been removed. The pad's been placed. The steel is going to be placed on Monday, and then the unit is going to be tentatively rigged up on Tuesday behind the building. So those will be hooked up by the electrical contractor and the HVAC contractor that are working on the Easton School project. So it has nothing to do with the Rogan company, and those will be ready to go once they're hooked up. So that is everything the PMA team had. We have a tentative June meeting right now, which would be on June 21st. And it sounds like we will need that meeting. So I'll update that to June 21st, but that would be our next meeting. And I do know that we have new business that we want to discuss that specifically relates to the ribbon cutting and dedication ceremony. So I'll turn that back over to Jackie, Connor, and Leisha for them to go over with the group.
Thank you, Walter. Just with the June meeting, I know we had discussed this before, but I just want to make sure we know what items are still ongoing through the summer,
Yep.
who's tracking them, how we're tracking them, all that kind of the business. And then if we're all set, then we can just have meetings as needed. We don't have to plan them. We may not need them again.
Yep.
All right. So for the ribbon cutting, I know you had sent us some examples of what other districts had done. Connor and Leisha, I don't know if you want to jump in and see if you had any reactions to what Walter sent, if you like kind of the big community event, if you want a smaller event. I know we have to be cognizant of keeping people off certain fields, certainly of parking constraints, anything like that. I know we were talking about a date in August, so we could kind of look at what works for people as well. Is there anything you want to chime in about?
Sure, I would be happy to, but I would defer to Dr. Cabral first, just as superintendent. But I apologize for being till basically 5 o'clock to send anything back to Walter, but I'd be happy to weigh in with some of that after Leisha.
Connor, please feel free to start.
Yeah, fair enough. So first of all, thanks for the examples, Walter. That was helpful. I think that if we take the basis of what we did as a community, and I can't exactly recall the SPC's role, so forgive me, but in planning the groundbreaking back a couple of years ago, I think that was a nice program. I thought there was a good representation of community and government members, and it I thought went quite well. So I think something we should get feedback from everyone and thoughts tonight. August has been something we've all kind of generally said, but it's May, so we should kind of agree if we do agree on that. Parking and all that should be much easier, obviously, in August, and we have plenty of time for the site to wrap up, unless Walter tells us differently. And I think we should hear from folks if they have a perspective on a weekday versus a weekend. I think again, so just speaking for myself, so we know the fields can't be played on, but I think the play structures could be, right, Walter? So I know there's a ton of excitement in the community for people to get not only inside a building, but to see the playgrounds and things like that. So I think it's a great opportunity, whether it's a Friday or on a weekend, to get folks from all different ages of the community to come see, tour a building, get to play on the playgrounds, see if we can coordinate some food vendors, to take advantage of what will at that point be empty parking lots, obviously cross-checking to any athletics or other event schedules that schools would have. And wanting to kind of have perhaps a formal ceremony with ribbon cuttings, again, to kind of close out of the groundbreaking we did years ago, as well as tours and the kind of community day feel to it. That's it's my perspective. I think it's important that by the time of the meeting ends tonight, there's kind of agreement on who from this team will kind of take point between now and the next meeting in June, because by that meeting in June, I think it's important that a draft kind of run of show, agenda, speakers, date and time are picked for this committee to review, because if that's in the second half of June, we can't really wait until, you know, mid-July to invite state officials and lawmakers. And so those are my thoughts.
Thank you, Connor. Does
Hey,
anyone want to comment?
I'm sorry, Jackie. I think the date is probably the most important thing at this point for the reasons Connor stated.
Okay, so what we were looking at the first 2 weeks in August, is that right, Walter?
I mean, if you're trying to relate it to anything schedule wise, that's perfectly fine. There would be no issues with anything in August. Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
would maybe ask Anne and Sam and Erin. I know that some elementary teachers get their classrooms ready in the couple of weeks before school. I don't know if they have particular thoughts about whether being in the beginning of August would be better, or later when even a few classrooms might be set up, or if we might be in the way of teachers. What are your thoughts about that, to at least narrow it down to a part of the month and then maybe the bigger community can narrow it down to whether it's a weekday or a weekend?
I would suggest more towards the middle of the month. I know we have both the Summer Enrichment Academy and all of our ASY programming taking place in the building throughout the whole month of July and running into August. I want to be cognizant of preparing a building to have the public in it for the first time. Therefore, cleaning, tidying, making sure that it looks like a sparkling, clean building for the first public appearance. And I want to make sure we have enough time for our staff to do that. So
Sure.
I would push for further into August, like the 12th, or if I don't know if we're looking at a weekend particularly, but I would avoid that first week definitely and start looking after that. I don't know how Aaron and Ann feel.
when is don't you have like a back to school picnic or something like that? When is that?
Typically we do that just before school starts. So that would
Okay.
more than likely be either the later end of the 24th, 25th, or because we're not starting until the 30th, we may even do it on the 28th. So
Okay,
that's later in the month.
okay.
So Sam, are you suggesting that if we do it on the weekend, you do it on like Saturday the 12th, and then if you wanted to do it during the week, that you'd maybe push it off to the following week, the 14th or the 15th?
Yeah, with students occupying the building potentially through the 4th of August, I would do the 12th as the earliest if you want to do a weekend, just to give us enough time to clean during that week. But if you're looking at a weekday, then yes, I would push it to the week of the 14th. Although then you start running into other beginning of school events.
And getting the second half of August, the closer you get to Labor Day. And I apologize because I know this is not true for educators and school professionals, but a lot of folks are gone. So
yeah,
I think the 12th could be good.
I think the 12 could be good if we have enough custodials to clean the building. I'd be worried about cleaning the building in that amount of time, knowing how big the building is and how long it takes them to clean it at night as it is.
Well, David Twombly is here too. And I know that in the other schools where, of course, there's waxing to be done, which isn't the case here, I know that that's the very last thing that they do right before school. So I don't know yet the order of how it will be done in this school, but I would imagine the largest spaces would be done last again. So I'm not sure if we should go even further into the month. What do you think, David?
I think the later you go into the month, obviously the better, because of what Sam said with all the summer school programs that are over there this summer. We actually have the projects going on over at Richardson Olmsted. So typically we would have used Richardson Olmsted for some summer programs, but we've moved those all over to Blanche James for this summer. So it's going to be tight getting the building ready for September. So I think the later in August we can go, I think the better. The other option is, if we go later in August, we could possibly bring in some of the other custodians from some of the other schools to kind of get a handle on getting the building ready for the ribbon cutting. So it would be kind of all hands on deck, but I think, depending on what it is, I'm not sure about the 12th. Obviously, the later you go, the better.
I would push for the 19th if we are comfortable going that far out. It's just one more week, but that would give us one more solid week of preparation time.
Do you think even later, like the 26th?
I'd be okay with that, but then yeah, I mean that you're definitely gonna have more.
Yeah, selfishly, I'm gone, and I think a lot of folks, again, if they're not, in education, you're getting into the last week of August, leading to Labor Day. A lot of people are not going to be around.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Not only like officials and speakers, but a lot of the members of the community might be trying to wrap up their last hurrah before back to school.
So, but it maybe sounds like the 19th would be doable then. Because that's still, after that, there's still 2 full weeks until you're coming into Labor Day. So
I won't be here on the 19th, but I will be here on the 20th.
Okay, so could we do a Sunday? Why not a Sunday?
Yeah.
Or do you want to do it during the week? Is that better?
I think a Saturday gets you more participants.
Yeah, I mean, because this will be a lot of logistics.
Okay.
So I think you want to maximize the amount of members of the community who can go. So I think a weekend is good.
So the 20th then?
Sounds good.
Alicia, does that give you enough time coming home from wherever?
I have a family reunion. I'm not going to be far, but I just won't be available.
On the 20th?
No, on the 19th.
On the 19th. Okay. But the 20th would work for you?
Would.
Okay. What about the rest of the committee members? I know summer seems still like a lifetime away, but does anyone have any conflicts that they know of at this time?
I do, but I could still make it, I bet. Depending on timing.
Okay. Any other comments about the 20th? Do we think we'll be able to get the delegation out on a Sunday?
So, I mean, we have something to work with, so we will work with that from here. And like scheduling is, we don't need to be in a formal open meeting to work out a schedule. So if for some reason there's any major blackouts for key folks, and we can just email the group and do a doodle poll or something. But I think the 20th is a good starting point. We'll check holiday calendars and religious observances and things of that nature to ensure that as well.
We'll reach out to the MSBA tomorrow.
Great, thank you.
And let them know, and hopefully they'll get back as quick. We'll ask them for a quick response if that'll work for their members who want to attend.
So Walter, I would just ask you pump the brakes on that I think probably we should make sure select board school committee are available.
Okay, we'll wait for confirmation from yourself and Leisha and Jackie before we reach out to the MSBA that you guys are comfortable with us sending that.
Okay, I can check with school committee today, tomorrow. I'll text Dottie too.
I'm shooting an email to the whole board now.
Oh, okay, all right.
The date works, and I'll circle that back through you, Jackie.
Thank you. Okay, so that's a start. That's great. So to Connor's point, working on more of the details of this, I think it is a good idea to have a smaller group that can kind of talk about it going forward. Are there people that would like to be involved in that? Sam? Connor's going to be, and Leisha's going to be, of course. And of course, Walter. Anyone else? I can't, just shout out if you want. I'm happy to do it. Anyone else is dying to do it? Let me know. You don't have to tell me tonight. All right. So right now I have Sam, Connor, Alicia, Walter, and me. And if anyone else is just jumping at it, then just let me know and we'll include you as well. So we'll work on it over the next month and come up with some more details. Is there anything that anyone wants to add to this? Is something specific they want to see? Nope. Okay. Then that's great. I'm looking forward to this. This will be fun. We already talked about the upcoming meeting. Is there anything else anyone wants to talk about or questions anyone has about anything related to this? Okie doke. Then I will take a motion for adjournment.
So moved. Reed.
Do I have a second?
Cedarbaum second.
Okay, roll call vote. Cedarbaum,
Yes.
Cabral,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Helen,
Yes.
Weintraub,
Yes.
Spry,
Yes.
Wiseman is yes. Still can't get used to these short meetings. Okay, thank you, everyone. We'll be in touch. Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Bye.